All right, welcome back. Please welcome back to our show teaching artist Jessie McCurdy from the Santa Barbara Museum of Art. This morning we're going to continue our bringing you a monthly art project, and this morning's project is sculpting. Thanks for being here, Jessie.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. You were just saying this is a smaller version of a
very large scale work. Yeah, and the project this week is inspired by an artist named Peter Volkus, and he's an abstract expressionist ceramicist, if you will. And the actual work of art is called Sitting Bull. It's really large scale, so it's like taller than you and me both. We could walk around it. You can view it from all angles. It's a really large work, so we're making a small version of that today.
And is that large piece of work at the museum right now?
It's at the museum, it is, yeah. So we invite you to come see it either before or after you make the art project.
Yeah.
And that'll be this September 11th, Sunday from 1:30 to 4:30.
And what do people need if they are coming to this? I know it's free, right? When you come to the steps and design your own.
Absolutely. So it's free every second Sunday of the month. You don't need to bring anything but yourself. And you can spend as little or as long as you'd like to work on it, from either 10 or 15 minutes all the way up to the entire time slot. And we have plastilina clay this week, or this month rather. And do you want me to start working on that for us?
Let's start working on it.
Okay, let's start.
The only thing I was going to ask too is there is somebody there that actually teaches people how to do this.
Absolutely.
This is really hard clay too. It's not Play-Doh feeling.
So it's guided and instructed by museum teaching artists. There'll always be someone there to work with you if you've never used the material before, if you have younger children, and then it gives you a good opportunity to work with younger children, if you have them, to kind of work together and learn something together.
Okay. And what is the video that we're watching? This is
so we're watching me actually make it here, and there's two sort of strategies. The first is if you'd like to sort of sculpt all of the clay in one and then kind of delineate marks with the popsicle stick, you can do that. I'm going to go at it a slightly different way today, and I'm going to mirror the same way that the artist actually made this original work of art.
Okay.
And so he started out making pottery primarily as a ceramicist. And so he would work on the pottery wheel, and he eventually started to get larger and larger and more abstract and move away from that sort of functional way of making things. So what he did to make this large piece is he threw a very large cylinder, so like picture a cylinder like you and I could stand inside, a very large one, and then he would make sort of like little pinch pots or little like paddled pieces. You can think of them perhaps as upside down bowls that would be kind of added all on.
Okay.
So he's basically starting with a base or a core, and then he's building onto it. So I'm going to make a little kind of cylinder, and then I'm going to use the table as a tool, which you can see me doing there in the video.
Okay.
And I'm using that to kind of create these different like paddled pieces, if you will. And then I'm going to
How come when you do it, it actually already looks like art, and when I do it, it looks like a
No, it doesn't look like anything yet. It takes a while to heat this clay up. The warmth of your hands will start to soften it. So the smaller pieces tend to work better, especially if you're someone with smaller hands, or like little kids tend to want to grab a really large piece, but that's a little bit of a tricky way to go about it. So I'm going to make small pieces. I'm going to sort of press them into all different shapes. And then as I go and turn it and kind of keep looking at it, it'll start to develop a shape all of its own, and I can kind of keep working from there. Maybe you want to sort of spin it around, and again, it's not the fastest thing, so
I was much better when you brought that already traced out
this one
drawing.
But this one,
I had to color
the nice thing about this material is that it's not going to dry out. It's oil based, so it doesn't harden. So you could always turn it into something new later, and you can keep working on it for hours. It won't dry out.
That's really interesting. Okay, and you were explaining at the very beginning what the popsicle sticks were for.
Yeah, so the popsicle sticks are very simple, easy, accessible tools, and part of what you'll see on the work that he's made are these kind of painted lines. And so those sort of highlight the way the piece is made. They highlight the joints and the places that he really seamed it together. So I'm going to use the popsicle stick to make some of those lines. You can also use it to sort of seam the edges together, kind of like zip them closed and then smooth them out if you want to make the piece a little bit stronger. But for the most part, I was thinking about the popsicle stick as making those defining lines that really
Yours looks
create
really
that
good.
outline. I'm going for it, but you can keep going too.
Here's my thing. I got a little bit defeated when I made, because I was looking at this and I'm like, oh, that's like a circle one, but then I realized those are just pieces that you're building on.
Exactly.
I could come and make all the kids feel really good about their work.
It's just building blocks. It's small pieces. It doesn't start to become anything until you really keep working with it and put all of those small units together to create a larger whole.
I'm already seeing that yours is becoming a creation and mine is still...
It's growing slowly, don't worry. It's growing slowly.
I'm gonna work on mine at the break. Okay, Jessie, as always, thank you for being here. You're so talented, and we appreciate you coming on and showing us what's happening at the museum. So September 11th, and tell me one more time the times that people can come.
1:30 to 4:30
to do the free project,
Correct.
and you do it right on the stairs.
Exactly.
All right, there you have it.